It's time for the Smackdown review, and we've got the 1,000th episode of Raw coming up on Monday. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good show. So this is the lead-in episode of WWE television for Smackdown. So let's see how they did. We start off when we got Boudica, 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 Boudica. Who the fuck cares about Rey Mysterio? Like I said in the previous video, it's all about the 9-year-olds and the perverted 40-year-olds in the audience, cheering for Rey Mysterio. Gets a decent reaction, but really, he's broken down. Rey Mysterio, it's time to move on already. You're embarrassing yourself. Just terrible promos for everybody involved here. Ziggler and Del Rio come out. Then Sheamus has to come out to save Rey's ass. Boring. Ziggler had a good promo on Raw, but this was just, it wasn't any good. Really boring segment here. It was all about, bringing Rey Mysterio back into the fold, but with no intrigue at all. Then up next we got the primetime players in Unico and Camacho defeating R-Truth, Kofi Kingston, Primo, and Epico. And this was a pretty good match. 8-man tag. We haven't seen one of those in a long time. And to all the fans out there who say that I don't say anything nice about WWE, go fuck yourselves, because I'm saying it now. Now you see, this is why I don't give everything a good review on WWE television. Because when there is an actually good match, now you know it, because this one was pretty decent. I thought it was exciting. I thought they had a lot of good moves. Unico and Primo really stood out. A lot of athleticism here. A good finish with Darren Young catching. I believe it was Primo with a gut buster as he's coming off the top. AEW is just annoying as shit, though. And I heard that he wrote on his Twitter that he's going to bring the Attitude Hero back. Yeah, fucking right. By screaming like a maniac ringside and annoying everybody. But this was a pretty good match and a nice way to start off the night. Sandow defeats Zack Ryder in another squash match. You would think that they would let him have an actual match, considering that his performance at Money in the Bank was just abysmal. He was a little bit more aggressive here, but it's quite obvious that the fans are more behind Ryder, and he's very popular, Zack Ryder, so I don't understand why they're having him job to someone who is having his second try here in WWE, and he's still not getting the job done. He's still not over. And he's never going to get over. Never is. It's his second try, guys. Okay? Second try. He's still not getting over. Come on, it's like there's a hint there. Do you get the hint? Then up next we got a boring-ass segment. Once again, it's the Peep Show. They bring back the Peep Show, which is probably the worst wrestling talk show along with the Abraham Washington show. Just really boring. It's with AJ and Daniel Bryan. They're talking about the wedding. Christian asked the audience, do they agree with the wedding? And there's a mixed reaction. Michael Cole says it's unanimous that they don't agree. But it's quite obvious that it's a mixed reaction, so they end up looking goofs. Like goofs, especially on a taped show. And they show this lame-ass video with Daniel Bryan putting a teddy bear in an ankle lock. And it's supposed to be sweet, but it's just boring. So I don't know where they're going with this. Then Kane comes out for a match against Daniel Bryan. It's an impromptu match. AJ almost kisses Kane after getting Kane disqualified by jumping on his back. This was just an okay match. They're going backwards with this feud. Now it looks like AJ was about to kiss Kane. She's got her legs wrapped around him like the last time they kissed. What the fuck are they doing? They just got Kane out of this storyline feud. CM Punk exited it, and now they're back to where they started once again. Like, seriously, what are they doing? They just ended this storyline, and when they're making some progression with it, they backpedal. Go fucking figure. This is so typical of WWE, and it's almost pathetic that the best storyline in pro wrestling right now is Aces and Eights over in TNA. Then up next we got Animal returning to defeat Heath Slater. Before the match, Slater informs us that he's been drafted to SmackDown. Are they still doing the brand split? with the super shows and the super Smackdowns, I can't even keep track of it anymore. I guess it doesn't even matter. But it was nice to see Animal from LOD. We haven't seen him since 2005, which is not as long as the past wrestlers who haven't been around for like 10 years or so. But it was still nice to see Animal. I'm a big fan of the LOD, and it was nice to see him again. Then up next we got Rey Mysterio and Sheamus defeating Del Rio and Ziggler by DQ. This was just fucking lame. It starts off okay, they go to commercial, it's boring as shit. It starts off really fast paced, they cut to commercial, they come back, and it's slow paced and boring. Just a lot of punches and kicks and rest holds and what have you, just boring. And then Ricardo grabs Sheamus' leg. The referee calls for the bell, and the lamest finish I've seen in a long time. Since when does that constitute a DQ? Usually when someone ringside does that, the referee ejects them or gives them a fair warning. Then after that, Ziggler grabs a briefcase and tries to cash in. But then just ends up getting his ass kicked by Mysterio and Sheamus, reminiscent of the pay-per-view. You know, Sheamus is... Ziggler, rather, is supposed to be the big tough guy who's going to cash in. They're making him look like a fucking pussy. Oh, he's getting his ass kicked. He's supposed to be like the biggest threat to the title right now. And he's just looking like a chump. Overall, the show was boring, uneventful. And for the final sell into the Raw 1000 episode, this was a really disappointing show. The opener was good, but the rest of it was just... It was really, really boring, and just nothing happened of any worth. It's almost like the same story as Raw. Like nothing but like little tiny announcements happened, and nothing special. So I really hope that the 1000th episode is good. I've got a lot of hope for this show coming into it. But if it ends up sucking, you bet your ass that I'm going down to Stamford, Connecticut and kicking every one of their fucking asses. Alright? You understand? Good.